Hello everyone, and welcome to my Sister Wives Today channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. In a stunning twist that left even longtime followers of the Sister Wives saga reeling, courtroom evidence revealed the existence of a secret $400,000 account that the presiding judge bluntly described as an act of shocking greed in his final ruling. And this revelation not only shattered whatever fragile trust remained between Kody Brown and his estranged wives, but also forced the public to confront the reality of just how deep financial deception had run within the Brown family legacy. Because while viewers had long speculated about hidden funds, mismanaged finances, and the mysterious ways in which Kody and Robyn seemed to maintain their lavish lifestyle even as Janelle, Christine, and Meri voiced repeated concerns over unpaid property taxes, looming debts, and the stalled Kody Pass development, no one could have anticipated that a paper trail would emerge pointing to an off-the-books account containing nearly $500,000, accumulated over years from undisclosed sources of income including speaking engagements, undisclosed streaming bonuses from TLC, and alleged withdrawals from the joint family account that was originally meant to serve all four wives and their children, yet somehow was siphoned slowly and quietly into this private fund under Kody and Robyn's sole control. And the way this evidence came to light was just as dramatic as its contents, because during discovery, attorneys for Janelle pressed for a full financial disclosure of all bank accounts tied to Kody's name. And when forensic accountants pored over statements, cross-referencing deposits with TLC's official production payouts and property transaction records, they found large sums that did not reconcile with the amounts declared to the other wives, sums that seemed to vanish from the main household account only to reappear in smaller increments in a reserve account under the names of Kody and Robyn. And when confronted in court, Kody attempted to deflect by claiming the account was meant as an emergency safety net for the family's future, a kind of savings fund to ensure stability in case the show was canceled or if unforeseen expenses arose. But the judge was not convinced, stating in no uncertain terms that the pattern of withdrawals, the secrecy, and the lack of disclosure to the other legal parties painted a clear picture not of prudence, but of intentional concealment. And he went on to remark that this level of financial maneuvering demonstrates not foresight, but shocking greed, a direct betrayal of fiduciary responsibility to the family unit that supported his career and contributed to the assets now in question. Words that will likely echo in the public consciousness for years as one of the most damning assessments of Kody Brown's stewardship over the collective fortune his family built. And the wives' reactions in court only amplified the drama, with Christine reportedly gasping audibly as the figure was read aloud, Janelle shaking her head in disbelief, and Meri, who had long voiced suspicions that she was being cut out of financial decision-making, muttering under her breath that this was exactly what I thought. A reaction that underscored how deep the fissures of mistrust had run long before the cameras ever captured the televised implosions of the plural marriage. And for fans who have followed the family's journey from the early days in Lehigh to the chaotic Flagstaff years, this revelation seemed to crystallize every frustration voiced online about the perceived favoritism toward Robyn and the repeated financial red flags. Because many viewers had long wondered how Robyn managed to secure a spacious home while other wives, particularly Janelle, struggled with rental instability and lived temporarily in RVs, and the $400,000 account, once revealed, seemed to confirm those suspicions that Robyn and Kody had always ensured their security, while leaving the others to face uncertainty, which only fueled outrage in fan forums and social media where comments ranged from demands that TLC cut ties with Kody entirely to calls for legal action by the wives to recover what they saw as misappropriated funds. And the judge's ruling did not stop at mere condemnation. Instead, he ordered that the account be fully disclosed, audited, and equitably divided among the parties according to the settlement agreements already on file. A decision that immediately sparked logistical chaos as lawyers wrangled over how to trace funds that had been shifted, withdrawn, and redeposited into different instruments over the years, with some speculating that part of the money may have even been invested into Robyn's now-failed jewelry business, My Sister Wife's Closet, a venture that cost the family thousands in initial investments and which fans had always regarded as more of a vanity project than a legitimate business. And as this tangled financial web unraveled, The broader implications for the Brown family's future became impossible to ignore, because if Kody was willing to hide nearly $500,000 from women he had called his partners, what else had been concealed? And how would trust ever be rebuilt when the core foundation of transparency and shared resources had been so brazenly violated? And beyond the courtroom, the cultural narrative surrounding sister wives shifted dramatically, as media outlets seized on the phrase shocking greed, from the judge's ruling to frame headlines that painted Kody not as the misunderstood patriarch, grappling with the collapse of plural marriage, but as a calculating figure who had knowingly exploited both his wife's loyalty and the audience's perception to enrich himself and his chosen partner, Robyn, while simultaneously allowing the others to shoulder emotional and financial instability, a perception that could have lasting consequences for his public image, and even the longevity of the show, because while TLC has weathered scandals before, the optics of a patriarch caught hiding hundreds of thousands of dollars while women who sacrificed decades of their lives for the family struggled to establish independence could be too toxic for the network to spin positively. And so the courtroom revelation of this secret $400,000 account was more than just a financial detail. It became a symbol of betrayal, of broken promises, and of the greed that finally shattered the myth of unity that once made the Brown family such a fascinating, if controversial, experiment in modern polygamy. And in the final analysis, the judge's words cut through all the excuses, all the rationalizations, laying bare the truth that what had been presented to the world as a cooperative family guided by faith and mutual sacrifice had, in the end, been hollowed out by self-interest, favoritism, and greed so profound that it left a legal authority with no choice but to call it out in the harshest possible terms. And though the case is now technically closed, the reverberations of that $400,000 account, and the greed it represented, will likely continue to haunt Kody, Robyn, and the entire sister wives' legacy for years to come, shaping not only how fans remember the family's story, but also how the wives themselves move forward in their search for justice, independence, and healing after decades of misplaced trust. The shockwaves of the $400,000 account revelation didn't stop with the judge's ruling, because once the gavel came down, the aftermath spiraled into a public spectacle that even TLC cameras couldn't contain. And while Kody and Robyn tried to downplay the scandal by insisting to reporters that the account was misunderstood and always meant for family use, insiders close to the court proceedings leaked details suggesting that not only was the account intentionally hidden, but that withdrawals had been made in moments where the other wives were at their most vulnerable, including during the time when Christine was preparing to leave Flagstaff and struggling to secure a new home for her and her children, as well as when Janelle was forced into her RV situation because funds she thought were available simply weren't there. And perhaps most damning of all, Meri discovered that at least one withdrawal coincided with the period when her was in jeopardy of shutting down due to pandemic-related struggles, and she had been denied financial support by Kody, who told her the family couldn't afford to assist her. A memory that reportedly left her in tears as she realized in court that the money had always been there, but was never intended for her benefit. And this moment of collective betrayal fueled a unity among the ex-wives that had rarely been seen in the show's history, because for once Christine